Welcome to Cosmic Conversations, the podcast where spirituality meets real life. I'm Siobhan, your host, aka the Cosmic Coach, and this is a space where we are going to explore the layers of what make us truly who we are. There's going to be a series of solo episodes along with some incredible guests, a space where we can truly discuss the universe within us all. Hello. So today's probably going to be a little bit of a shorter episode, but I just wanted to record, have a little catch up, say hi in somewhat more real time. It's just nice to chat because I know a lot of these episodes are pre-recorded and I just wanted to come on and just say, thank you so much for all of the love with season 2. It's been so enjoyable. Well, I say that and I'll get into it. Not that it's not been enjoyable, by the way, but of course you guys know now I'm pregnant. Woohoo! So yeah, I'm so excited that I can just finally be like, oh, I'm pregnant. It's been hard to keep it, especially from the podcast. I love the podcast community. I feel like I feel like my podcast community is like a little bit not separate, but maybe a little bit separate from Instagram and stuff because yeah, I just feel like you guys are listening to me week in, week out. So anyways, it's nice to just talk about it openly now and address it. And yeah, it just feels really special to share it with you all on here because those of you who've been with me from the start, you'll know that earlier on this year I had a miscarriage. So kind of moving through all of that and then finally coming to a place where I'm carrying a healthy pregnancy has just been, it's really full circle for me. And yeah, I'm also like, I'm aware that it's one of those things people go through and like, it's hard. Obviously, it's really hard going through that. But if you're someone who's still going through that or struggling with fertility or anything like that, I'm just sending you so much love and I'm holding you in my heart. I really, really am. I know it can be really difficult. But if anything, I want my story to be just like one of encouragement and that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Because that's really what this feels like, is light at the end of the tunnel. Of a wild year. This year has just been like, you know what, I went for a gorgeous meal actually the other night with some amazing women. We're all self-employed, we all have our own businesses, and actually shout out Rebecca, asked us all to go around the table and say one thing they were proud of, and it was so, like, we were all crying, like, it was so lovely. Just listening to everyone talk about like their year and their triumphs and everything they overcame, and we were just saying like how so often, even if you don't have your own business, even just in life in general, you look forward to like the next thing, the next goal, the next thing you want to achieve, the next thing you're working towards. You never really take a moment to stop and look back. And so that's what we did together, and it was really lovely to celebrate each other and how far we've all come. And it's just, everyone really is going through their own stuff. Everyone has got their own stuff. You know what I mean? And there's kind of comfort in that, and that like we're all on this wild ride together, but we all come together and celebrate ourselves and how far we've come because we have survived 100% of it. And that was the main thing. So it was really, really lovely just to hear how everyone kind of persevered through this year. And I think like, even for myself, I started my Instagram page, The Cosmic Coach, in August 2024. But I really only like started like taking it probably seriously like this year, as in like really booking events and doing workshops and facilitating at retreats and starting my podcast and offering my services and everything. So that's been yeah, it's been fun. And you know what? I was only saying to the girls at the dinner as well, like, I feel like, I don't want to say I was a bit naive, but you don't know what you're getting into when you're first starting your first ever business. You don't. And so I suppose maybe I was a little bit naive in terms of like how much it would take. The graft, the grind, the commitment. I was just excited about it and knew I wanted to do it. And so I did it. And it went really well, and I've had a really, really great, successful year. I've learned so much about myself, so much that I like doing, so much that I don't like doing, the way I want to be in this business. And I feel like in the new year, I will definitely be restructuring and relaunching a few things. But yeah, so basically, obviously this year I had a lot in my personal life as well, with the miscarriage and everything, and we're hoping to get our own home next year, and there's just so much going on. But being pregnant, obviously now, is such a joy. But when I tell you, I literally could not work in the first trimester. I don't know how you women who have like corporate jobs, or if you're in employment, or even if you have your own business and you're still fucking showing up, like, guys, I'll be honest, I was not showing up. Like, I was not really working. You can probably tell by my content. I stopped posting a lot in the first trimester because I was so ill, so ill, so tired, and so emotional. Like, I was literally, there was days where I would just cry from the minute I'd wake up to the second I go sleep. And like, I wasn't sad about the pregnancy at all, of course. I was so overjoyed. It was just overwhelmed in terms of other things in our life, and wanting to get our house. And then I was crying because I was so unmotivated at work. I didn't want to work, and then I was like, oh my god, am I in the wrong job? This is not my purpose anymore, blah blah blah. And then the anxiety, I feel like the anxiety of having a pregnancy after loss was something that I wasn't prepared for. And like with my first pregnancy with my son, I was, a little bit nervous, but I was like, I'm pregnant. That's it now. I'm pregnant, and amazing. And I absolutely love being pregnant on him. And I love being pregnant now. I'm really loving this pregnancy. However, the anxiety has been through the roof with this pregnancy because, of course, especially in the first trimester, when you're not feeling anything, you're just going off your symptoms. And I just felt like I was waiting. I was waiting for something to go wrong. I know that sounds terrible, but I was just really, really like, I just want it so bad. I want this baby so bad. We all do. And I was really, really just praying that this time was going to be okay. So thankfully it is. I'm 17 weeks now, so I'm nearly at the halfway point. But yeah, the anxiety, the emotions, the sickness, everything just had me floored, and work was completely on the back burner. And I had a couple of readings and stuff to do, and I of course had my program, which was running. So that was like, I think that was actually good, because like that was something that I had to do every week, along with my one-to-ones. And I think if I didn't have that, I probably would have went into like a bigger spiral or a bigger hole, because I would have been literally doing nothing. And what happens then is your confidence drops. So my confidence dropped then, and I was like, I can't do this. I'm not like, this is not cut out for me anymore. But I'm feeling good again. Second trimester, bit of energy. The world knows now. So I'm feeling like I can approach things again with a little bit more enthusiasm and a little bit more energy. And that's what I was lacking. I just wasn't motivated and wasn't enthusiastic at all. I just needed to rest. And so I did. But as well, something else I did this year to kind of support my business was I got a business coach. Big investment. Anyone who's in the coaching world will know. Those messages we all get, and it's like, hey, thank you for following me. Love your content. What are you working on right now? I essentially went to work with one of those people who was essentially incredibly talented, incredibly educated, and confident in what she's doing, and she's doing amazing for herself. Like, if you've seen this girl, you'd be like, oh my god, give me her life. She's doing incredible. And so of course I was like, yeah, I want to work with you. Like, I want that life. And one thing I will say is I learned so much during that time. However, I learned a lot about what I do want to do, what I don't want to do, and how I want to approach my business. And that's always the win. We always want to learn, okay? Did I have a little bit of a different expectation from when I went in to when I came out? Yes. However, the learning that I got is definitely much more deeper than I would have expected. So anyways, started working with her this year, and I'm finished now, obviously, but started working with her. It was amazing. I learned so much about like how to structure a program, how to approach sales, how to create like leads, so getting people interested in content, how to post content that really caught people's attention. And my content was doing really well, that I was taking like the recommendations from this woman and doing the content was doing really well. However, it was doing really well. I was loving it. Got clients, got my program starting, was making money off my program. And I will say these programs are expensive. I'm not going to come on here and like bullshit you and say my program's so cheap. It's not. It's expensive. It's an investment. It's 12 weeks of coaching and one-to-one and meditations and all that. So I was really, really delighted with myself. And then, pregnancy kicks in and the emotions kick in and everything. And I just kind of felt what happened was with my program, with my job, and how I was approaching it this way and how I was being kind of coached to approach it, I ended up getting burnt out, pissed off, fed up. And for a moment or two, I will be completely honest, it was like I fell out of love with it. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I really don't know if I can do this anymore. Now, of course, the pregnancy hormones were amplifying everything. So I was literally like, like, I will be honest with you, I was on jobs, literally being like, I'm going to have to get an office job. Like, because I was like, I'm not good out for this. I can't do this. Like, this is just not, I can't fucking, sorry for swearing, but I can't be like constantly grinding, constantly trying to make sales to get, your business only does as well as you do. So what you put into it is what you get out. And I was like, I can't constantly be working this hard all the time. I'm a mom. My priorities are very different to someone who maybe doesn't have kids or someone who is more career focused. Like, I am career focused, but for me, it's like my son, my kids, my pregnancy, my family. That's like my number one, my well-being. So what happened was, I ended up having resentment towards my business. That's exactly what it was. And so I took the few weeks off in the pregnancy, completely stripped it back. Of course, I was still working, doing my program. And I will say my program, I'm so proud of it. Like, I could actually cry when I think about it. And seeing the incredible women who've come through. I feel like we're friends now. Who've come through, and I'm so proud of the transformations that they have made. And they all went on like their own spiritual awakening. It was such a pleasure to witness. Like, one client even had her light language activated completely organically. It was just crazy wild. But yeah, so what happened was I built resentment towards it, and then I was like, what's going on? So when I had that time off in the first trimester, I really was just like, right, I wasn't even really meditating or journaling. This is the thing. It wasn't even like I was filling my own cup. I was literally just resting. And then as the weeks went on, I did start, like, of course, I was always doing my weekly meditations with Debbie Boyle. You guys know I love Debbie. I'm a part of her online community. She's an incredible person. And so her meditations were like every week, the healing and the reset that I needed. And then I'm doing another level with her. I'm doing level 5, I think it is. It's the Christ consciousness level. So that was also aligned, because when I was doing that, I was like at a time when I really needed it. So basically the realization I took out of this few weeks was that I don't, how do I even word this? I'm incredibly grateful for everything I have learned through this business coaching. I'm glad that I know now, like, what it is those coaches offer. You know, those coaches that reach out, we all know them. I'd love to jump on a call with you or whatever. These people, I know what they're offering, which is great for me because I was curious. And I think I had to try it. But I now know I do not want to cold sell. I do not want to try and I don't want to like persuade or encourage someone to come on a sales call. I don't want to try and hone in and echo and emphasize someone's pain points that they're going through in their life for them to turn around and pay me to be their coach. And essentially that's what I was doing, or what I was being coached to do. And it just felt really out of alignment because, you know, it's no surprise as a coach and even counselors and therapists, you know, people coming to you are coming to you probably in a hard time of their life. They're probably going through a breakup, or they're grieving, or they're going through a massive life change, or they're just really, really lost. And so they're coming to you because they're going through something. And so it just, and it wasn't like I was taking advantage of their vulnerability either, but there was just something that felt a little bit like not organic for me when it was like using their pain point to be like, yes, my program is going to help you. Yes, it can help you. However, you need to be 100% in it. And this is the thing. And I found, I'll be completely honest with you, okay? If someone is really fucking good at sales, and I'm not very good at sales because I get really like, oh, it's fine, like, don't give me your money. But if someone is very good at sales, they can fucking sell sand to the desert. Like, they can, and that's and that's a really, really cool skill to have. However, I don't want to fucking sell my program to someone who's going through a lot right now, who's going to just pay for it because they feel like it's going to be a quick fix, who's not going to show up for the calls, not going to really be 100% invested in it, not going to get the most out of it, because then I'm feeling bad I took their money. They're feeling bad because they're not really getting the most out of it. And is that a win because I got their money? It was a sale? No, that's not a win, because at the end of the day, yeah, there's a money exchange involved. But it's the output that they get. I want them to get the transformation. I want them to be all in for this. And so I feel like with sales, there is this slippery slope where the person selling can really encourage or persuade someone to do something when they're feeling vulnerable. And so, yeah, I was like, I'm not up for that, just for the sake of getting a sale. I don't know. So, and like, I could be wrong, not all coaches and stuff are like that, but I just found that because I experienced it, like I was vulnerable, I needed help in my business, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and so I was sold to, and it was great. However, it was not what I pictured, and so yeah, so that just kind of didn't align with me. And then like quality over quantity too. So like with this program and stuff that I've designed, it was like quality or quantity, get loads of people in. But now I'm kind of realizing that it takes a lot to build a rapport with someone, to build a connection with a client, to really get to know them, to understand the inner workings, to remember, oh yeah, this happened to you a few years ago and you told me about this. And so, really, really connect with them. And that's what really helps the transformation too, because I can be the best coach when I really understand them. Okay? Understanding is a big thing when it comes to coaching. So that's the thing. How am I going to sit down and understand on a deep level and connect with 10 to 15 people? Like, I'll know them all, but I won't like really get that full on, like, yes, we've really like got this strong understanding of each other. So that was another thing that I took away from it, was that I think I want to focus more on quality over quantity. And I think, yeah, that was something else I took away, because I felt like that too in my program, that maybe I wasn't fully like understood. So it was just really weird, because everything that I was feeling and experiencing, I didn't want my clients to feel and experience that. That was something else I took away. And again, like, this is no tea, no shade. Like, I'm so grateful for this business coaching. And like I said, I learned so much. I'm not a businessy person. I feel like I don't really have a business mind. So everything I was learning was like, ooh, really interesting. Like, but it's just not one size fits all. And so, yeah, so that's kind of why in the new year I'm not saying I'm getting rid of my program. My program is my baby. I'm really, really proud of it. However, I will be restructuring it and relaunching it in the new year, with a little bit of a different approach, a little bit more one-to-one tailored, taking on all of the feedback and information on board, of course, from all of the women who've gone through it and experienced it. And I think I would like to branch out. I think I was niching into women, and I think women like gravitate towards women, but I also feel like I could work with men, and I have worked with men and I've enjoyed it. So yeah, that's also something that's possible for me. So yeah, I feel like I'm going off on a tangent here. So that's been a massive one for me this year, is learning and understanding how to run a business, how I like to run a business, and what works for me and what doesn't. But yeah, that being said, I have had a great year. I have my own retreat coming up in January with my friend Eva, the Positive Tribes. I haven't really spoken much about it because, like, being completely honest with you guys, the day it was advertised, it was like sold out in 2 days, that retreat. It's in January. We put it up in the summer. It sold out in like 2 days. So it was like, I didn't really even need to talk about it that much, because like, oh my God, we're sold out. Which is amazing. Now, I will be very honest with you, that is probably all Eva, because she has such a huge platform and she's gotten into the retreat space now, so she's really building her momentum with that, and people are enjoying that and wanting to come on board. So I'm really grateful to be working with her on this one, and so I'm looking forward to that in January. But yeah, just this year, like, I've held workshops, I've done events, I've gone to events, it's been really, really fun. And I think, I don't know if anyone follows me on Instagram or TikTok, you'll see I'm doing Vlogmas at the moment. And that was my way to be like, okay, I'm coming out of this rut of not posting. I'm coming out of this rut of not really working, not really like advertising myself and pushing for business. So I kind of came out of this rut, and just was like, I'm just going to do Vlogmas because I think the easiest thing for me or anyone to record is just being themselves and their day-to-day life. And that was another thing that I found I struggled with, was sitting down and doing like scripted content. And don't get me wrong, scripted content is really important because you're getting the point across, you're educating your audience, you're nurturing your audience. People are getting to understand what it is that you do, what your niche is. But again, it just felt really like bleh for me. Really like, oh my god, I don't want to sit down and record this freaking scripted video. Now, I'm not saying I'll never do that again because of course it's nice to have some structure to your videos, but I think I work best when I flow. Like right now, I'm just talking, I'm just flowing. And I think that's when I work best because I'm just speaking from my heart. So yeah, that's another thing I took away this year. But in terms of content then, I've just kind of gotten into posting Vlogmas, posting my day-to-day life, what I'm doing, you're getting to see what I'm having for breakfast. Like it's all that type of stuff. Don't know if people are really into it. I mean, I love watching Vlogmas, but I mean, who's going to watch my Vlogmas? I'm no Anna Olivia, but I love to watch them. So I just said, and I like to make them too. I enjoy making them. And I like to look back at my day. And I love to go back. This sounds so self-centered, but I love to go back through like my own content and be like, oh my god, remember I did that. So I've really been enjoying that, and it feels really easy and effortless, and I'm not like sitting down to edit and being like, I'm going to edit my Vlogmas now. So that's been fun, and another good way of getting me back into the swing of things. I'm like in my head, like, what would Aideen be screaming at me right now to mention? The podcast. I do want to bring up Spotify Wrapped and talk about it because, again, it just reminds me of all of the success and everything that we have done with Cosmic Conversations this year. This is only our second season. And I will be back for season 3, by the way. That's another thing I wanted to update you guys on. I will be back for season 3 in the new year. This is the last episode. Because again, I think I was saying earlier about talking about the podcast. So that's what it was. Talking about the podcast, and I was like, I've really enjoyed it. But also, first trimester, Aideen has the patience of a saint because I did not want to fucking sit down and record. I was like, I don't want to sit down and talk to people about like fucking self-love and manifestation when I'm going through like such a rough time right now. And I just looked so rough and I felt so rough. In some of the episodes you can see I was looking a bit rough. That Mama Cacao episode, yeah, hopefully nobody watched that on YouTube because I was looking rough. But yeah, I just wasn't really in the headspace of recording. And of course, as you guys know, podcasts need to be kind of batch recorded so that they're ready to go, that they're edited and everything. So yeah, Aideen has the patience of a saint. She really worked with me. Of course, she knew from like day dot that I was pregnant. And so she was really supporting me through that. But now I'm feeling good again. So that's nice. I'm feeling motivated again. And to be honest, I literally said to Aideen midway through season 2, Aideen will back me on this. I said to her, I was like, I think we need to stop. I can't keep recording. Like, I just need to stop this mid-season. We were literally going to we did have a break one week, actually. There was 1 week where we didn't upload, because there was nothing to go out, and I was just like, I just can't record. And so we had a break. I didn't even know if I was going to come back. I did come back, thankfully, and I'm so grateful for all the guests I've had on this year because it's really, really easy to talk when you have a guest. Much easier to talk because the whole focus isn't on you. So that's been really nice to have some amazing guests on. But yeah, I was just really, really in a funk. I really was. And I think as well, another thing with me, and I don't know if people kind of can notice this, but I'm the type of person, I've said it before on my podcast as well, I'm the type of person where I love to be me, I love to be authentic, I love to talk about my interests, what kind of like sparks my curiosity, but I'm also very like, I'm so afraid of saying like boo in case someone's like you're racist, you're homophobic, you're this, you're that, whatever. Like, I'm not, of course, but I don't know, I think it's a little bit intimidating, like even if you look at like say really big influencers and kind of like scandals and cancel culture and all of that, I think I'm afraid of that, which is kind of stupid because like you're always, that's always like with success that will always come because you can't please everybody. But I think I kind of fell into this trap of trying to keep everyone happy, trying to keep a nice light airy space where no one's offended, but that's just not reality. People are always going to find something that they disagree with that, you know, offends them or whatever. So I think the important thing with me is just my heart and my intentions. And my intentions are always just to come here, have a laugh, share some information, have a nice conversation and not offend anyone. So, and that's the thing with me too. I'm always willing to learn. Like if I have an opinion or a view on something and you have a different one, I'm not going to like boo you out of the room because you have a different view or opinion than me. I'm going to be like, okay, like let's talk. Like I would love to learn how your brain works and why you view things that way and why I don't. And that's the thing. I think it's a very Gemini thing as well, if you listen to the astrology episode. But I think that's the thing with my personality is I like to learn from different people. And I think I'm almost like, not fascinated, but like maybe a little bit curious by other people who are different to me, because I'm like, what is going on inside their head? You know that TikTok sound? It's like, I'm like, ooh, what's going on? So yeah, so I think I would hope that people have that kind of similar approach to me, that they're just like open-minded. That's the word, open-minded to whatever it is that I'm talking about or speaking about, knowing that my intentions are always to just keep the peace, love and light. But also next year I feel like I am going to be a little bit more myself. Maybe I will say one or two things that's a little bit like people like, oh, you know, don't agree with, but hey ho, that's how we find our tribe, is by being authentic. So Spotify Wrapped then, bringing it back. Sorry, you can tell this episode's a little bit scatty. Total new audience is 1.1 thousand. That's not total audience, like listeners, that's just new audience. That's really freaking cool. Listening time is 85.9 thousand minutes. 85,000, basically 86,000 minutes of me talking. Like, that's how many times people have played me. Like, that's absolutely mental. So thank you for that. That's just mad. I don't think I could listen to myself that much. I remember at the start of the podcast season 1, I was like, oh, I can't listen to myself. You get over that very quick though. This year's top episode then, of course, was with none other than Kira Ashwell. We talked about starseeds, soul origins, galactic connections. That episode is really good. It's in season 1. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. There's also a second episode in season 2. We did a Christmas special, also very good. But massive thank you to Kira and to Kira's fans and audience. And if you've joined over from Kira, thank you, and I'm glad to have you, and hope you stick around. 119%. That episode is played 119% more than my average episodes. Top countries were Ireland, United Kingdom, Australia, United States. Hello, who's listening to me in the US? Shout me out, please. Who are you? And then Canada was number 5. Canada, I want to see you move up because I got some family over there, okay? You're a top 10 show for 403 fans. So 403 of you are a top 10 listener. So thank you. And then I was top 5 show for 250 people. And top 1 show. Okay, so I was the number 1 played podcast for 58 people. That's crazy. Like, if there's 58 people in a room, they're all listening to my podcast the most. What? That's actually crazy. So yeah, thank you guys so much. And then this is interesting too. So it shows my fans' top taste in music. And so number 1 is Taylor Swift. Number 2 is Amble. Number 3 is Zach Bryan. Number 4 is Olivia Dean. And number 5 is Teddy Swims, all of which I listen to. And then like top audiobooks, A Let Them Theory, Vogue Williams, Big Mouth, 12 Laws of the Universe, Angels Are With You Now by Kyle Gray. So yeah, we all have the same taste, guys, okay? We're all into the same thing. But I just thought that was so interesting looking at the Spotify Wrapped. So thank you so much. So thank you so much. That Spotify Wrapped really blew me and Aideen away. And there's more stats in that, but I don't want to bore you guys. But just thank you from the bottom of my heart, whether you listen to 1 episode or 20. As I said, it will be back for season 3. I will be very pregnant. So we'll see how it goes. I probably will be talking a lot of baby talk, I'm not going to lie. And I'm sorry if anyone doesn't have kids or is not into that. But it's just where I'm at in my life right now. So sorry if that's not really your vibe, but if it is your vibe, I did also want to do an episode on like breastfeeding maybe as well. I know I'm kind of talking over time here, but I wanted to do an episode on breastfeeding because I love breastfeeding. I can't wait to breastfeed my newborn again. Oh, it's just the best thing in the whole world. Shout out to Quidu, who is a breastfeeding support for any new mummies or mummies to be out there who want to breastfeed. Definitely reach out to your local Quidu. But yeah, I'm so excited to breastfeed again. But I actually, during the first trimester, I forgot to mention, which also amplified my emotions, was I stopped breastfeeding my son. Something which I have not talked about online. I feel like that's a whole other podcast, with just the shame and the scrutiny and the, you're still breastfeeding him, all that comes with it. Like, go away. What do you think boobs are for? Okay? They're not just for sex. Boobs are not for sex. They're for feeding babies, and that's society and your own programming that has you thinking a fucked up way that it's weird that I breastfed my almost 3-year-old. So we nearly made it 3 years, and I was so proud of us. It was such a beautiful bond, and I was scared that he wasn't gonna like want me or need me as much, but oh my god, my kid is such a sticky plaster. Like as soon as he comes in from school, he's on my lap, and you can imagine how difficult that is with a big belly now. So that's nice, but I absolutely love breastfeeding, and I'm sorry to anyone who breastfeeds out there that I wasn't more open about it. Whether you breastfed for 2 minutes or 2 years or 3 years or beyond, because I carried that shame, and I allowed that shame to silence me, and I lied. I told certain family members and certain people that I wasn't breastfeeding anymore because I didn't want to get the look or the still, or oh my god, but he can talk and he has teeth, and I'm like, yes, but he's still a fucking child, like. So yeah, what I will say to you is, if that irks you or freaks you out or makes you feel uncomfortable, that is about you and why. I guarantee you the why is because you believe boobs are for sex, or you believe boobs are sexual. And yeah, boobs are great fun, but they're there to feed children. That's why we have them. And yeah, so I feel like that's a whole other episode. Maybe I'll get someone on who's like been breastfeeding to talk about it. Maybe for season 3, I think that'd be a nice one to talk about. And just for support, anyone else who's maybe curious about breastfeeding. But anyway, oh my god, I'm talking about boobs so much. I'm so excited to breastfeed again. It was also another reason that I was so emotional the first trimester, because we ended that journey. But yeah, anyways, roll on the next one. Hopefully, my goal is always just to do a year, and anything beyond that is a bonus. So yeah. Last but not least, then I have to shout out my affirmation cards. I have used them through and through all season. I've pulled the affirmation of the week. We've talked about it. We've, got to know it. So I'm sure you know a good few of my affirmations by now that are in my affirmation card deck. There's 44 affirmation cards. I poured my heart and soul into them. Each one is channeled or, inspired by me and kind of my own journey with self-love and an affirmation. So they're on sale now. They're actually on offer for €20 at the moment. So with code Christmas20 through the link in my bio on Instagram, or I'll actually try and link it here on the show notes. They're €20, €3 shipping, so €23 all in. And it's 44 affirmation cards. They are energetically cleansed with Archangel Michael, and they're charged with unconditional love with Archangel Shamuel. Oh my god, that's a tongue twister. But yeah, I'm really proud of them, and they're really special. And so if anyone would like to buy them for themselves or for a gift, like I said, they're on sale now for the Christmas season. So yeah. Anyways, I'm going to love yous and leave yous here. I don't know when season 3 will be back. I will let you know. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning into Cosmic Conversations. If you enjoyed this episode, then please let me know. Maybe consider leaving a 5-star review or a comment on what you thought. I'd love to hear suggestions and feedback on any topics you'd like me to explore or unpack, or maybe a guest that you'd like me to have on so I can pick their brain. If you have a cosmic confession or a dilemma that you'd like me to explore next week, then please send it my way on Instagram at cosmicconversationspod, or email thecosmiccoach.ie@gmail.com. Thank you, and see you next week.